This is our fourth week of Tuesday interviews here on Ontario Wrestling Instagram Live. It's a weekly interview segment where we talk to some of Canada's best wrestlers, featuring some of Canadian Olympic trials winners. Our hope is to share what some of Canadian elite wrestlers are doing during this time of a global pandemic and to try to encourage athletes of all levels on their journey. My name is Emily Ling. Probably most of you know me as Emily Schaefer, my maiden name. For those of you that don't know me, I am currently the development coach for the Hamilton Wrestling Club. I wrestled for 10 years, but the majority of which was at Brock University before retiring after the 2019 Olympic trials. During the course of the interview, feel free to comment your questions. We will try to get to them at the end if we have time. Tonight's guest, I had the privilege of being teammates with him while we both represented Canada at the Commonwealth Games. And I'm excited to hear more of his story on our episode of Tuesday interviews. So with us, we have Jordie Steen. He is originally from Windsor, Ontario. Welcome, Jordie. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for having me, Emily. Thanks for sticking around. I appreciate that.
Of course. A little bit about Jordie. He is a U Sports /CIS champion. In his season of becoming a champion, he had no losses at a tournament, which is pretty spectacular. He was the 2016 Olympic alternate, the 2016, 2017, 2018, and 2019 national champion, the 2018 Francophone Games champion, the 2017 and 2018 Pan Am bronze medalist, a 2018 bronze medalist at the Commonwealth Games, and the 2019 Olympic trials winner, and successfully secured his place by qualifying for the 2021 Tokyo Olympics. That is a list.
Yeah, when you put it all together like that, it sounds pretty cool.
I feel like, at least for me in my career, it was like things like that would pile up, and it's not until you list them that it feels like a lot, because you're always looking towards what's next.
Yeah, absolutely. You rarely, when you're an athlete, look behind you, So you got to keep pushing forward. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's great that we can highlight some of your accomplishments for you.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's get into our interview.
Yeah,
Someone
absolutely.
has already asked this, but we're going to get it right off the bat. So Jordie, you are not only a highly accomplished wrestler, but you come from a line of elite athletes. Both your parents were Olympic athletes, and you have other family members who are also high-level athletes. Can you talk about what it means to come from such a successful athletic family?
Yeah, it's definitely a little bit weird. I mean, I'm trying to think now. It's my mother went to the Olympics. My father, I think my grandfather, he made the team, but he didn't go. And I had a great uncle who also made the Olympic team and then got mono right before, so he couldn't go either. So, and it was we kind of had a bit of a joke going, it was a bit of a family curse, because my grandfather, I think they cut the funding or something. I'm not exactly sure what happened with his story, but yeah, he wasn't able to go. My great grandfather wasn't able to go. My father's first Olympic team was in '80, so they boycotted it. North America boycotted it, so he didn't get to go. And with this COVID thing, we were laughing, being like, "Oh God, I hope it doesn't keep getting passed down. I hope I get to go." So I'm really happy that it all came together.
Yeah, and we'll definitely talk about that a little bit more. Did you feel like there was some sort of pressure coming from such an athletic family and you getting to an elite level yourself?
I mean, yeah, I did a little bit when I was a kid, I think. I mean, all my buddies and everything would kind of give me a hard time. Be like, "Hey, your parents are they're Olympians. Like, well, you should be a star by now, right?" And kind of give me a hard time. But I think I just kind of put it in the back of my head that it was really cool that they were able to do it, and it's a different sport, and it's a different time, and I just want to see if I could do it in my time in my sport. So I was able to do it, which is really cool. But I couldn't focus on trying to do it because they did it, or what I mean, just add an extra pressure. You know what it's like, right? You can't put any more pressure on yourself than you already have. So
yeah, for sure. And that's just something to say about like not allowing expectations and pressures to be your sole focus, but to be focusing on what you can control and what you can do.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So your parents, I believe, were both track and field Olympians?
Yeah. So my mom did.
What got you into wrestling?
I don't know. My mom did 400-meter hurdles, and my dad did the decathlon. He got a medal, which was cool. So I'm trying to get at least first or second to try to beat him. That would be cool if I could get a better medal than him at the Olympics. But
we're all rooting for you for sure.
I like that. All right. I don't know what pushed me into wrestling though. I kind of was always I like contact sports. I played hockey just for the hitting and maybe a little bit of the fighting and yeah, I would try the boxing and the MMA and the jiu-jitsu and all that stuff and I thought I was gonna be a fighter for a while and then I kind of found wrestling, liked wrestling, thought I was pretty good at it and kept going.
Yeah. Sounds like it was a
Yeah,
good fit for you.
yeah, it worked out, right?
Yeah. So definitely worked it out. Let's go back to winning the Canadian team trials. What was your preparation like leading up to the trials, especially knowing that in 2015, 2016, you came so close to qualifying?
Yeah, 2015-16 was a tough one for sure. I tore my hamstring the year before, and I wasn't able to do the nationals in 2015, and I fought back, fought all the way through the ladder system, got all the way to the top just to get knocked off, which was a little tough, especially when it was Tamerlan. We know how his kind of career ended, so it wasn't my favorite. But yeah, this time we just kind of started prepping something like 12 months in advance. Started just thinking about it. It was the sole focus. I had a couple injuries actually, which I had to fight through. I mean, in 2019, I think I was off for about 2 months, and I was back on the mats for maybe about 6 weeks before the nationals. So it wasn't my best performance either. It was it was a bit of a had a couple tight matches in that one, but yeah, it's just I think the preparation was the same as everybody else. You focus on who you have, focus on people you don't know that are going to be there, and you pretty much just focus on what you can control, right?
Mm-hmm. Was that a little bit mentally tough for you in knowing that in 2015 you had a big injury that kind of affected you in the 2016 or the 2015 trials, and then having some injuries to overcome leading up to this trials?
Yeah, actually, I think maybe the 2015 one helped me because I had tore my hamstring, and then this one I was like, you know what? I had an injury, but it wasn't as severe, and I was like, I know I can get back into fighting shape with a bigger injuries than the one I had. So it was yeah. If anything, I think it gave me some confidence to know I could go out there and still perform.
That's a great perspective on thinking back and just being able to look positively on what you learned and from that first initial 2015 experience.
Yeah, for sure.
So at the Canadian team trials, you had an incredible performance. You had a technical superiority over all your opponents, which I think most of us would agree is a pretty dominating performance. What was that experience like, and how did it feel to come out on top?
It was awesome. Like it's one of those things where you just treat it like another tournament. Treat it like another tournament. You can't make it special, right? Because if you make it special and you try to make it bigger than it is, it's all the same guys have been fighting for the last 4 years. But you can't let that pressure get to you. And yeah, but right after I won my second match, I kind of felt the weight of it all and was and got excited for sure. But yeah, the tournament went well for me. That's for sure.
Yeah. And then going into the Olympic qualifier in March, what was your mindset and mental preparation for that tournament?
So I kind of have one thing I know. It doesn't matter how, in my mind, doesn't matter how down I am, doesn't matter if I'm injured, this and that. I always think I'm one takedown. I'm just one takedown away from a win because I've developed a pretty solid parterre game, right? So
Yeah.
I just know that no matter what, I'm just one takedown away. So I think that's where a lot of my confidence comes from. I think in my mind I could be down 9-0, and if I take somebody down and get them in the center of the mat, I can finish it. So I think that's where a lot of my confidence comes from.
That's definitely something that I think a lot of younger wrestlers are trying to learn, is that if you can get some techniques that you're really confident in, then it just allows you to have so much more confidence in matches and just be strong mentally throughout your performances.
Absolutely.
What does it mean to you to be able to kind of join your parents' legacy, your family's legacy, by being able to compete at the Olympic Games in 2021 now that you've qualified?
It's definitely pretty cool. Yeah. I mean, I have some brothers and sisters, and they're all laughing, be like, "Oh, thank God one of us did it, right? So we can keep it going." So they're giving me a hard time, but yeah, it's really cool. I think as a kid growing up too, it was like seeing them represent Team Canada and being a part of Team Canada and going to the Olympics and getting to represent Canada at the biggest stages was always something I thought would be really cool. So
Hmm.
the fact that I've been able to go and do it and now I get to go join them is kind of one of those 1%. Because I mean, how many people get to make an Olympic team, right? So
Not many.
yeah, it's it's pretty wild. It's pretty surreal right now.
Yeah. So how did you kind of feel then when Canada announced that they weren't going to be sending athletes to the 2020 Olympics?
So absolutely, as a person, I understand, right? You understood as a person, but as an athlete, you're holding your breath because, especially with Canada too. Canada was, I think, the first country to go out and say that, right?
Hmm.
And I was thinking, oh, like I hope other countries follow because, if none of the other countries followed and we took that stance and, what I mean, it definitely would have been super hard. I understand. I think it was the right move. I think
Hmm.
it was the right thing to do to say, hey, look, I don't think we should go. But being the first person to go definitely is a little scary,
For sure.
When the other countries
And
started following, I could, have that sigh of relief. But yeah.
so talk to me about your reaction upon hearing that the Olympics are going to still be held in 2021.
Oh, that's honestly amazing. I
Hmm.
am more excited for this. I think I'm more excited for it than I would have been before because as an athlete, you're always training. So you're trying to make the Olympic team. So first you got to win the trials. So all your focus has to be on the trials, and all your focus has to be on the qualifiers, and then you have like 3 months to focus on the Olympics. I have like
Yeah.
14, 13 months to focus for one tournament.
Hmm.
That's I've
Yeah.
never had that before. So that's super exciting. I've already been kind of watching
Yeah, for
matches,
sure.
seeing who already, who I might have, who not, and get to, because I'm sitting around, I got not a lot to do. So yeah, it's been fun.
That's awesome to hear. Can you talk about like what is the advantages of watching tape and like how do you video analyze your opponents type thing? Especially for like some of the younger athletes that are watching that's kind of new to them to do video analysis and now that they have time they're starting to do it. So,
Yeah, so I try to do it, but not too in depth. I'll
mhm.
leave that for my coaches because I know my coaches will watch matches. I mean, at the Worlds and stuff we spoke, but I like to watch, but I also don't want to get too involved in what other people do, right? I need to, okay, so his favorite attacks are this and this. So I need to be aware and know that they exist. But at the
Mhm.
same time, I don't want to watch too much. I want to go out there and wrestle my game and make them wrestle my game and not kind of worry about what they're doing as much. But I also like to be informed. So
Mhm.
I think I do it on a very I would say like superficial level where, okay, this is his favorite attack from here. This is his favorite attack from here. Okay, he likes this position. And what would I do from these positions? And then I go and, okay, so if he goes here, what would I want to do? Not if he goes here, I need to run away or I need to back up, right? It's always what they're going to do. And then how would I score or what would I do to counter that? And I feel like that's the best way for me anyway that it works.
Yeah, for sure. I love that you take it to that next step of like, how are you going to be ready for that, and what are you going to do if that happens to make it more about what you're going to do and what you can control as well, instead of just thinking uh, that this is what they're good at. You know,
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, I got to
that's
think
such
that,
solid advice.
yeah, appreciate that.
So now that basically everyone is in self-isolation, what have you been doing to stay in shape?
Well, actually, yeah, I kind of got lucky because after the qualifiers, I came back. I was going to stay home in my parents' place for maybe 2 weeks and then go back to Montreal and start training again. But Montreal is completely locked down. I got a small little apartment there, so there wasn't much room to move around. And I've
Mm.
been quarantined at my parents' place for since the qualifiers, and they got a pretty big home gym here, and I've been kind of talking to bit of the Wrestling Canada, and got some weight training program, and I got lucky for sure. I got a lot of room to move around. I got a pretty decent home gym here, and yeah, it's been pretty fun.
That's probably nice to be able to spend some time at home. As a high-level athlete, you probably don't get to go home much anymore.
Yeah, I was just joking with my mom. I know. I think this is the first time I've been home for like over a month in probably 10 years. So yeah, it's been interesting. come home maybe 2, 3 times a year, right? For a week or two. And then now, yeah, they can't get rid of me.
So you
So
got the home gym. Yeah, they're gonna be sad when you have to leave again.
yeah, yeah.
So
I
you
don't
have
think
the
my
home
dad won't
gym,
be that
staying in
sad.
shape.
Sure.
So other than staying in shape kind of physically, what kind of wrestling specific training have you been able to do?
So, I mean, I've been, you kind of said, so say like I'd be sitting like on the treadmill or on my, what is it, my stationary bike there. And I kind of just wrestle matches in my head. I mean, trying to kind of stay pretty disciplined, with the whole quarantine. But, yeah, just kind of wrestle matches in my head. I find this is a good time for me where I'm able to kind of fix some injuries, get my body back to, because as a wrestler, you're always beat up a little bit, banged up. You're never at 100%, right? So you got a couple months to get everything fixed and, do some rehab and stretch, and everything's starting to look pretty good. So
Yeah, that's awesome. Kind of making the most of the situation for sure.
what else can you do, right?
Exactly. In addition to many senior level events being canceled, a lot of younger athletes also had their nationals postponed and definitely canceled even. And some of them are struggling with it being their last year as a juvenile cadet wrestler, maybe their last year even as a high school wrestler. What advice could you give to those people?
You know what? I understand it seems like a big deal now, but there's always going to be another chance. Like even for me, I got beat up my first year juvenile. I got beat up both years junior. I think I got beat up my first year senior. Like I never medaled at any of those until I was getting a little bit older, right? So it's awful. It sucks. I wish they were able to have it, but there's always going to be another event. There's always going to be another tournament. And right now, I think we're trying to do the responsible thing, but I know it does feel personal. No matter what, it's going to feel personal, right? So
For sure.
Yeah.
So you kind of mentioned there that a lot of your success didn't come until later on in your career, like up till now in the last couple of years, 5, 6 years. How did you stay motivated and committed to the sport when you weren't getting the success that you now have?
I think because I kept seeing improvement. So I doubled out both years junior, and then my first year senior I took 5th, and then my second year senior I took 4th at the nationals. In my third year senior, I took 3rd, and then I took 2nd at the Olympic trials, and then I took 1st, and I won, right? So I kept pushing for just a little bit of improvement, just a little bit incremental gains, right? So always one place higher, one place higher, one place higher, and then so as long as I kept improving, I was feeling good. And there was times where obviously you feel like you're stuck and you're not improving, but I think that's one of the things that makes a high level athlete is you got to keep putting your head down and working and trying to find the answer and trying to find a way to improve no matter what. So
for sure. And you were one of the athletes that did you start wrestling in high school?
Yeah, I started wrestling in high school. I started wrestling I think it was grade 12. I started wrestling. Yeah, I mean, I was doing like some jiu-jitsu, some boxing, kickboxing, stuff like that before, and I kind of just I found wrestling in grade 12, but I was getting beat up for a while, so yeah.
So you started wrestling late in high school, decided to continue wrestling in university. Any advice for wrestlers who are thinking about wrestling in university or what they might expect?
For this year, you mean like this upcoming year, or?
I think just in general of an athlete that's going to be doing university wrestling coming from a high school level.
It's definitely different. So you find at the high school level and the junior and the university level, it's a very big jump. So I think you have to be patient with it, and but it's a lot of fun. I mean, you know what it's like. It's a lot of fun to go out there and compete for your school and try to get points with the rest of the team. And as long as you're going out there and trying to do what you can, I mean, I had a blast, and I don't know. I think everybody else would too. So, yeah.
That's awesome. I love it. It's so true. It's such a huge change, but it's honestly, at least in my opinion, so worth it. And the amount of fun you have, the family you create, and your team, and It's pretty great.
It's the first time that kind of like the individual sport feels like a team sport, right? Because you're all trying to win for each other too, and it's not just it doesn't feel like it's always just you out there, you know. So yeah, I had a blast doing it.
I love it. All right, so we're coming to the end of our interview. This is the time that if you're watching, you want to ask Jordie a question, feel free to comment that in the comments. And in the meantime, I've got a couple of just fun rapid fire questions for you. So if it's all right, we'll get started on that. What is your favorite food to eat?
I would say probably bacon. Is that wrong?
No, that's not wrong.
All right.
What is your favorite hobby other than wrestling?
Oh, God, I don't know. That's a tough one. I don't know. Probably eating bacon, I guess.
From Noel Trombley wants to know, what's your favorite pizza?
You tell Noel Trombley he knows what my favorite pizza is, okay? He lives above me, so he always hears the guy knocking on my door. I would say meat lovers. Yeah.
Ooh, definitely with some bacon, I'm assuming.
Yeah, of course.
Your favorite breakfast place?
We have three that a lot of the teammates go to, but I'm going to say the one down my street, it's called Orange Cafe.
Do they serve lots of bacon?
Of course. They actually, they know me and always put some extra in for me, so, yeah.
What's your favorite sport other than wrestling to play and to watch?
I like watching a lot of the UFC. We got some of the friends and stuff and the guys that train with us to get to fight, and that's a lot of fun to watch too, so, yeah.
And do you do any UFC?
No. I gotta stick to wrestling first, you know.
I was gonna say that'd be a little bit of a jump this high in your career.
Yeah. I probably can't take any more shots to the head at this point. So you know, this is probably good this way.
For sure. Do you think that could be in your future when you're done with wrestling?
I have no idea. I always planned on after the Olympics, I'm probably going to take a vacation for a couple of weeks and then maybe just figure out what's next or figure out if I want to keep going. I don't know. So I'm waiting to make any future plans after these Olympics. For now, that's the only thing that matters.
Definitely, and I think that's a good mindset to have.
Yeah.
Someone wants to know if you can solve the debate or settle the debate. Is it called a leg lace or a cross ankle?
Oh, I don't know. I call it a cross ankle, but to each their own, right?
I would say the same.
All right.
Favorite movie?
Favorite movie? I don't know. I don't know. I like The Departed. It's a good one.
I don't think I've seen it, but maybe I'll have to watch it.
And
do you prefer the summer or the winter?
I prefer the summer, even though I probably shouldn't take my shirt off. I need to get a tan first. It's getting embarrassing. Yeah.
I feel that. I have to stay out of the sun or I'll be a tomato in no time.
There you go. Yeah, we were in Australia together. It's tough out there.
So a couple weeks ago, we had Clayton Pye here on Instagram Live, and there was some comments about his quarantine beard. Someone just asked about your beard, so I'll ask you here: is this a forever beard or is this a quarantine beard?
Oh, this is actually I shave this. I always shave it after I grow it out for the tournaments because I try to look as mean as possible. This is it coming back. I look too much like a baby if I shave my beard. Nobody would even think I'm a wrestler. So yeah, this is me probably at my lowest right now.
So do you think that the beard makes you stronger?
It's got it a little, right?
Someone asked your most used wrestling move. I think we kind of all know the answer to that one.
Yeah, it's the cross ankle. Anything I do is I pretty much just run across the ring and dive at the guy trying to take him down, and then that's how I win my matches. So yeah.
Someone asked how many pull-ups can you do?
Right now or in normal? It's a good question. I would say let's start at 1 and then we just can figure it out from there.
Next time we'll hope for 2.
Yeah, for sure. I can do more than Noel if he's asking.
It was him asking.
Yeah.
And do you have a favorite training partner?
I wouldn't say a favorite training partner. I have a couple guys that I like, but I like fighting. There's about 3 or 4 of them that I really like fighting. It's Alex, Moore, Julien, and Jeremy are all guys I like to fight, and Ali, the big heavyweight. Those guys are all fun to fight in the room. Pretty tough dudes.
For sure. All right, I think we will wrap up our questions there. Thanks again, Jordie, for joining us. Thanks everyone for sticking around even through our technical
Yeah,
difficulties.
yeah, that's right. Sorry about
Yeah, we
my lack of
appreciate
Instagram knowledge there.
it. That's all right. We made it through our interview. So again,
Yeah.
thank you for joining us. Thanks for sharing a bit of your story. For everyone that's watching, we will be back here next week, Tuesday, 8 p.m. with Olympic trials winner Samantha Stewart. So we're pretty excited about that. So make sure to join us next Tuesday at 8 p.m. I'm your host, Emily Ling from the Hamilton Wrestling Club, and we will see you all next week. Thanks again. Bye, everyone.
Take care.